All right. Happy Friday, everyone. It is May 12th. We are just 2 weekends, this Mother's Day weekend included, away from Memorial Day weekend. And yesterday, as we know in the sports world, the Sixers lost Game 6. In a game, all they do is win to advance, and now they got to play Game 7 on Mother's Day. We know how that worked out last time on Mother's Day against the Raptors in 2019, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. You can read by the title. All right, here to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles 2023 schedule. It was released yesterday, and now I'm going to officially talk about it. I decided to wait until it was officially released to talk about it. Now, I did do a short video when the Eagles-Giants Christmas Day game was released. That's on my channel under the short videos tab. And now, though, that the full schedule's been released, I'm going to go over the full schedule. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to start giving an overview of the schedule, kind of give you an idea of what it looks like on paper, and then give you an idea of what to expect. What I mean by that is I'm going to look at the games and say, okay, on paper, we got the better roster. This should be a win. Or, on paper, this could be a tough matchup that could go either way. Then I'm going to talk about the games and give some factors that you have to consider going into it. So, like for late season games, you'll sometimes have to factor in injuries, how healthy teams are, where they stand in playoff seedings, the implications of that game. Is this game late in the season going to be a game where Eagles are resting starters? They're going to be more hungry because they have the division or an home field advantage on the line late. So let's just get started into it. So I'm going to share what I do as I got on the Eagles website. I'm going to share from the Eagles website. It's the Eagles schedule. I'm going to scroll up a second. We're going to go from the top right here. So here's the 2023 Eagles schedule. Obviously, we got 3 preseason games. Those aren't really going to matter much. They're just preseason games for people fighting for roster spots. Now, as far as the regular season itself goes, as you see right here, week 1, we will not be traveling on the road to play Kansas City, as a lot of us thought that might be the case. Instead, that'll be week 11 on Monday night. However, what will happen week 1 is we will travel on the road, but instead we'll be traveling to Foxborough to play the Patriots. It's going to be interesting because we're so used to the Patriots. Anytime we play them, we got to go up against Tom Brady. There's always that concern. We got to go up against Brady. We could get jinxed by Brady. But this will be the first time in my lifetime that I've seen a Patriots-Eagles regular season game without Tom Brady. The last time we had that in the regular season was 1999 when we were playing against the Patriots and they had Drew Bledsoe as their starter. I know we had rookie McNabb. I don't remember if he started in that game or not. However, nevertheless, though, that's going to be the opener right there. It's going to be an interesting opener. The Patriots. Yeah, but on paper, this should be a win because this isn't the Patriots team that we're used to. This isn't that tough Patriots team we beat to win Super Bowl 52. This isn't that team we're used to playing. We got to play them, that we're the underdogs going into. It's not like that this time around. This time around, the New England Patriots are a team stuck in the middle. They've had some questionable drafts in recent years. Belichick, there's some signs that he's starting to lose touch with the times as of lately. On paper, this should be a win. We should, as long as everyone obviously makes through the preseason healthy, and we still have the right pieces there on offense. We still got our main 3 guys: Brown, Smith, Goddard. Hurts is our QB. Got the addition of DeAndre Swift. Rashad Penny, if he's healthy, then could still play in that game. And that should be a win, all things considering, against the Patriots, because the Patriots are a middle-of-the-pack team now, and we're fresh off NFC Conference Championship. And this team's hungry to go back to another Super Bowl. I mean, you've seen the way Howie Roseman's been doing these drafts right here, making trades for other players like DeAndre Swift, acquiring future picks. Obviously, Howie Roseman isn't going to relax off being, the conference runner-up. Obviously, they want to win, and they want to come back and win first chance opportunity they get, and they see this 2023 season as an opportunity. So don't expect the Eagles to slouch this year. So expect the win over the rebuilding, middle of the pack Patriots there. Now, the week 2 game, ironically, it's the same opponent, first home, same opponent, same place as week 2 last season. Minnesota Vikings at the Link, but this time it's going to be a Thursday night game. You saw what happened last year. We beat them last year. I mean, we shut the most, obviously, the best part of that team last year was their offense. You saw our defense had no issue shutting that down right there. We still got some of their key pieces from that defense last year. It'll be interesting to see how this defense looks this time around going against them, because you're sure by then you'll have Jordan Davis. We'll be getting some more snaps, and Kobe Dean will get some more snaps with the absence of guys like Javon Hargrave, TJ Edwards. So that's another thing you got to consider too in this. How will those guys fare into the rotation? Because they didn't really play much their rookie years. So you could still be coming into a situation where you're talking about Jordan Davis and especially Nakobe Dean coming into those opening weeks relatively green. So that could play a factor into the outcome of these early games right here. But the Vikings, hey, as you saw what our secondary did last year against the Vikings. We shut them down. Darius Slay shut down Justin Jefferson. Now, Sean Desai has some common sense and doesn't play him all 15 yards off the guy. Do similar to what we did last year with playing our cornerbacks on the receivers. We should be able to shut down their passing game, particularly those weapons on the Vikings offense, mainly Justin Jefferson. And we should still be able to come out here and get this victory right here and advance to 2-0. So that should be a win right there. And then week 3, Monday night against the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. You're going against Tampa Bay Buccaneers team likely to be starting Baker Mayfield. But even then, who knows who's going to be the Bucs starter by the time we get there. That should be a win. I mean, the Bucs just got lucky last year. The division was a weaker division. And Brady managed to play he was subpar. He managed to play just good enough against the softer teams to help lead him to just enough wins to get into the playoffs. But this year, I mean, even with Brady falling off, he at least still had the veteran presence, and his veteran instincts could help him a little bit, even with him being washed. But here you're talking against Tampa Bay. You talk a Tampa Bay team they're falling apart. Let's face it. I don't see them as a threat to win this game. We should be able to come out on top. Now, week 4 is an interesting matchup. It's our first division game against the Washington Commies. Week 4, at home, 1 p.m. We should be able to get that W right there, get it done. But remember last year, they upset us after our 8-0 start. So it is possible they could get us again. But then again, we're coming in looking for revenge. It'll be interesting, though, because those division rival games are always tough right there. And, I mean, on paper, this could go either way right there. This could be an either-way win. We should be able to win, go to 4-0, but you never know. If the first 3 games go as according to schedule, we should be definitely coming in 3-0. We should be able to go to 4-0, but you never know with Washington, those division games. On paper, that could go either way on that factor, but moving right along. And then you get to week 5 against the Rams. That should be a win. Rams don't have room to do much. They didn't do anything impressive during the offseason. You know, they're experiencing life after going all in for a Super Bowl. They're just lucky it worked out in their favor, so they at least have that to make them feel proud of themselves, to at least make the all-in push worth it. And then you see that should definitely be a win. Week 6 against the Jets. I mean, we always have the Jets number, but this time around it's going to be interesting. What's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers on the Jets? Is Rodgers going to show signs of falling off, continuing to fall off from last year? Is it going to be a similar situation with him with the Jets, like Russell Wilson with the Broncos? What's it going to be? That's going to be interesting right there. But we'll see how that one plays out. That's going to be an interesting one right there. But we should be if Rodgers, it's going to be interesting. That could be on paper a good game if Rodgers plays his best, but I don't know, man. I kind of think last year might have been Rodgers' start of his fall off. So we should be able to win. We always beat the Jets, but who knows? We'll have to see. Week 7 against the Dolphins. That looks like it could be a good matchup and a tough matchup on paper. That Eagles Dolphins matchup, Week 7, on NBC Sunday Night Football. Right, but here's the big what if, or the big if. Can the Miami Dolphins stay healthy? Will Tua be able to go Week 7, or will he get injured before that? That's going to be the big what if right there. So on paper, it looks like it could be an awesome matchup. It could be a tough matchup where it comes down to the wire. Will the Dolphins even be at full strength for that matchup? And better yet, on the flip side, will we be? Because we will have already been 6 games into the season. Injuries are going to happen. Who will get in? Who could get injured though? You don't know. You don't know how our team will look by that point. But yeah, on paper, this has the potential to be a tough matchup. Then we got the Commanders Week 8 on the road at that terrible stadium. Look, we should at least be able to beat that team at least one time. They got some talent. I see them being similar spot where they're just competitive. Unless Sam Howell really balls out and surprises everyone, I see them being in a similar spot. We should at least be able to beat them once, if not sweep them. Then we move on to the Cowboys Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, 4:25 p.m. That should be that's going to be a tough game, obviously. Both teams are good teams, the two best teams in the NFC East. And we would love to beat the Cowboys but this is a tough one because regular season, the Cowboys usually seem to have our number. Either we split with them or they sweep us during the regular season, always seems to be the trend. Hence why I say they have our number to a degree during the regular season head to head. Now, clearly we've been the better run team. We've had more deep playoff runs than them, but those head-to-head matchups, they usually seem to grill us on those, so that would be a tough one. But it would be nice to set momentum going into the bye week to beat those Cowboys, get that win. But that looks like it could be a tough matchup. But now that you look at it, that November is going to be a tough month for us because, look, we got the Cowboys Week 9, Week 10 we got to bye, but then we got to come back and play Kansas City Monday night. And we know they're going to be at full strength of that game. We saw them in the Super Bowl. We're looking for revenge, but we know they're a darn good team over there. And, that's going to be a good matchup right there. That's going to be a tough one, too. And then the following week, you got the Buffalo Bills, which, that's going to be another tough matchup. But I think the Bills are a more winnable game right there because despite the fact they have a strong regular season team, they obviously have their flaws. Josh Allen, he has his flaws at QB. He has his questionable decisions at times. Their defense at times is a bit sus. So we should be able to beat the Bills, all things to it, if we play at our best. It should be a tough matchup, but a tough matchup that we win. So I think I got it. So I do have us winning that one, but then we get to another interesting one. The rematch of the NFC Championship game at the Link. 4:25 p.m. Week 13, December 3rd versus the San Francisco 49ers. I think that's going to be a good one right there. Obviously, Niners have been talking about it all soft season, crying about the conference championship. Well, by week 13, you'll have your chance. And who knows where the Niners will be at quarterback. Could they be at Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Trey Lance? It's going to be interesting to see where they're going to be at on the depth chart. And where will the Eagles be with being healthy at that point of the year? But either way, it should be a good matchup. And on paper, we should be able to get the win. But who knows by that time of year where we'll be at. That'll be a tough matchup. Then the Cowboys, Week 14. I would love to sweep the Cowboys, but I just got a feeling they're going to beat us at least once. Regular season wise, it always seems like we match up head to head. We can't beat them twice in a row for whatever reason. One reason or another, whether it be injuries or, we're rebuilding or, whatever the case may be, we can never seem to beat them twice a year. So I just get a feeling we're at best probably going to split with the Cowboys maybe this is the year we finally break that trend. We sweep them for the first time since 2011. Yep, 2011. That would be the first time. I would love to sweep the Cowboys, but who knows? Seahawks. Seahawks are, who knows? Seahawks are a solid team on paper, but here's the thing with the Seahawks. The Seahawks, will they even be able to pull off a nice run where they still have playoff hopes again this year? Or will Geno Smith regress? And by the time you get to that week 15 matchup, Geno Smith could have completely regressed. He could have got injured. He could be out of the lineup, or maybe he's still in the lineup. Who knows? But there's always, to me, the Seahawks, they're at risk of being that, with Geno Smith being that 1-year wonder type situation. Unless maybe he proves me wrong, but we'll wait and see. But that should on paper be a win, because I just get a feeling like the Seahawks, they could be a team that could try to repeat their efforts or improve upon their efforts from last year. But on the flip side, I feel like that Seahawks team could also be a team that takes a step back from where they were previous years. So I do feel like that could happen as well. But ultimately, we'll have to see on that one. Then you got the Monday night Christmas Day matchup against the Giants. That's going to be a good matchup. We should be able to go in there and get that win against the Giants. Take care of business. That would be awesome right there. If we can go in there, take care of business against the Giants, win that game. If you hear any noise in the background, that's my neighbors across the street. I hope that's not a distraction. But I know the Giants game against them Christmas Day, that's going to be a good matchup right there. I feel like we're the better team than the Giants right there overall. Yeah, I feel like we should be able to get the win as long as everything plays out right, as long as we play up to our potential, as long as we stay healthy. Should be a win. The Cardinals look like they're on the downswing. They're probably going to struggle again. That should be a win. Then the Giants week 18. That's going to be, it's too early to tell with that one right now, because who knows where we're going to be at by that week. We could already have home field locked up. The Giants could be resting their starters. Or maybe, who knows? Who knows what happens by that point? Or maybe the Giants are playing for a rest of their starters and we still have something to play for. Who knows? Similar to last year, but who knows where it's going to be at? That's why it's too early to tell with that matchup, because who knows what it's going to be like going into it. Now, on paper, I'm looking at that schedule. I think we should win 12 or more games on paper. I don't think it's as difficult a schedule as some of the critics said it was going to be. Because I remember a few days ago, they were saying Eagles are going to have the toughest schedule of any team in the league. But when I look at it on paper, don't look like that tough a schedule as they're saying it will be. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I think this could be a 12-plus win season on paper. But ultimately, that's just on paper as of early to mid-May. We're kind of approaching mid-May. Still too early to tell. Who knows what could happen between now and then? Who knows if there's going to be any holdouts that could start some drama in the locker room and hurt the chemistry? Who knows if there's any injuries in training camp or practice? Who knows what could happen? Who knows what happens as the season goes along? Maybe there's a power struggle between coaches and the coaching staff. I don't see any of that happening, because the Eagles are a team that's been good at avoiding. They've kept their heads clean at avoiding drama, but who knows what could happen between now and these games. So even on paper, this looks like a real winnable schedule. This looks like a possible easy schedule to win out, maybe get home field second straight year. Who knows, man? You don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, anything can happen. You could have a team that's expected to be an easy game come out of nowhere and have a good year. And by the time we get to that game, it could be a tough game. Like maybe the Cardinals surprise everyone and bounce back. That could actually be a tough game by the time we get to it. Who knows? Maybe the Seahawks have a really good year, and that's a tougher game than expected. Or who knows? Maybe the Cowboys start to fall off, and that's an easier game than expected. Or maybe the Cowboys, Dak, has a career year. Who knows? Anything could happen. Maybe the Giants take a step back from where they were last year. And Daniel Jones regresses from his performance last year. Who knows? Or maybe they get stronger. Maybe Sam Howell is the starter for Washington. The point I'm getting at is that you never know what can actually happen come season time. It's too early to tell. That's the beauty of football right there. There's so many unpredictable things that could happen. Because you look at history. Remember last year, around this time, everyone thought the Seahawks were going to have a terrible season. And they greatly exceeded expectations. Everyone thought the Dolphins could be contenders in the AFC. And it was looking like they were early, but then injuries caught up to them, particularly at the quarterback position. And they didn't live up to that. They didn't live up to that hype. They fell off when the injuries caught up to them and just got lucky to sneak in the playoffs. We thought maybe the Patriots would take that next step with Mac Jones, but instead they went backward. Now there's a QB controversy between Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones. We thought maybe Matt Ryan would be decent with the Colts, but instead he was washed. And the Colts were terrible. The point being is, there are all these things we thought in paper. We thought maybe some people thought Russell Wilson would rejuvenate himself in Denver. Denver looked like the better team on paper than Seattle, but look how it actually played out. So don't get caught in the hype of what it looks like in May, because by the time you get there, things will look completely different than expected. Just take some of those examples I used from last year. We thought Kansas City would maybe take a bit of a step back without Tyreek Hill. But guess what? They went on to win the Super Bowl and beat my team in the Super Bowl. So don't let what you see on paper now as of May, don't let that affect your perspective of how things are going to go. Don't start jumping to conclusions yet, because if you do, you're going to jinx it. So I'm just going off. So on paper, yes, this looks like this could be another winnable season. Maybe home field advantage a second straight year on paper, but we don't know what's actually going to happen. Like I always say, as Desert Eagle 90, the veteran on here, YouTube always says in his videos, from Flava Flav, don't believe the hype, because a lot of times what's hyped up doesn't match out that way in reality. But yeah, there's not much else I can say, except we still got to wait and see what's going to happen. Guys, we can all give our predictions. Some of you guys, if you're watching this on the replay, you can give your predictions in the comments. You're actually more than welcome to give your predictions. Some of you came in and voted on the poll. You're absolutely more than well. Thank you for voting. But ultimately, we will have to see what happens right there. Apologize for scratching my nose, but yeah, it's all I got to say for now. So, fly, Eagles, fly. If everything goes out as I think it will on paper, that'll be awesome. But we'll still have to wait and see. So got some time between now and then. Mainly going to be talking about the Sixers. Mainly be focusing on work. Coming on here on YouTube, mainly, like I said, talking basketball when I'm on here. And focus on other stuff outside of YouTube, such as work or family or other interest. It's all I got to say for now. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's hope it turns out as expected. And until next time, Nicky Stees signing off.